What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Post to Post podcast. This week's episode is episode 107. Shout out to our presenting sponsor, Corona Premier. With me, as always, my co-host, Matt Small. What's going on, buddy?
Yo, happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Busy week with all these trade deadline trades and signings coming up here.
It's looking good. Very interesting stuff. It's going to get crazy within the next week, and we're hearing a few trades that might go down as we record. So you're going to be on top of that throughout the episode. So.
Yeah, I'm licking my chops hoping that something happens here, but we do have a little update for you guys. The NHL trade deadline is Friday, March 3rd at 3 p.m. So next episode, we're actually going to be recording on Thursday the 2nd. We're going to have some more coverage for you next week, but we're basically going to wrap up all of Friday's news on the following week's episode. Kind of sucks because we'll be a little bit behind, but I feel like there's not as many big things are going to go down on Friday at 3 o'clock like we're usually used to, I think, right?
Yeah.
I feel like there's guys that are in the mix, in the hunt for, playoff teams, but a lot of the big names have already moved that we're going to get to this week.
Yeah, I think there's going to be maybe a little more big news going on for next time we record, but other than that, I think for the most part, I think the teams that want to add some depth into their organization and move some cap space or whatever, they're doing it right now. So I feel like the majority of the big news we're going to get to tonight.
Yeah, and I think the Friday that we aren't recording on, I think that'll just be all the wrap-up, getting some picks in for the teams that, want to look at the future instead kind of thing.
Right, exactly.
Well, let's kick it off here. You ready?
Let's do it.
The Toronto Maple Leafs have acquired forward Ryan O'Reilly and forward Noel Acciari from St. Louis, and they've also acquired forward Josh Pillar from the Minnesota Wild in exchange for forward Mikhail Abramov and forward Adam Gaudette. A first-round pick in 2023, a third round in 23, a second round in 24, and a fourth in 2025 are going out the door as well.
Big.
Josh Pillar was sent to Toronto from the Minnesota Wild, while the Wild will be retaining 25% of O'Reilly's salary and gaining the fourth-round pick in 2025. St. Louis Blues will be receiving the other three picks, Adam Gaudette and Abramov as well. They'll also be retaining 50% of O'Reilly's salary. This puts O'Reilly's cap hit for the Maple Leafs at $1.875 million. O'Reilly almost immediately notched a hat trick in his first game there, Toronto versus Buffalo 6-3 final, and it's all thanks to a big BioSteel shower that he gave himself in warm-ups.
This is massive for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I mean, I was talking about a while ago. I was talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs, how they have a bunch of scoring, they have a bunch of talent, but they don't have those big dudes. And here's Ryan O'Reilly, that fucking truck that he is. They think he's a defenseman, but he's not as a center. They need that type of guy. They need his type of body, especially when they're looking at playoff territory. When we talk about the Boston Bruins later on, and it's like the same situation with them. And I think this pickup, Ryan O'Reilly, just in general, is going to be fucking insane. And like what Chris just said, first game, I think it was the first game or second game with them, hat trick. Already producing with a team, already filling in. It's just a huge pickup for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So hell of a job for them with this.
Yeah, the fact that they were even able to get this done with as much limited cap space as they have there, and the fact that teams are willing to make it happen for them is kind of nuts to me, because now, they seem like a heavy favorite to make a deep cup run, as weird as that sounds for Toronto. Austin Matthews, your first line center, O'Reilly second, Kampf on the third, and Acciari on the fourth. And then on defense, they're not looking so great there, but I think that the offensive firepower of this team, the two-way mindedness of Ryan O'Reilly, and his presence in the faceoff dot, it'll be enough to round this team out quite a bit. Also, you mentioned, veteran presence. This guy knows what it takes in the playoffs. He's gotten a cup before. And just, I don't know, a level-headedness in the locker room to calm the team down when, they're down 3-0 in the second period,
Yeah, right, exactly. Right, to bounce off of that, too, Noel Acciari as well. Tied for second highest goals in his career with 10 goals, and tied for career highest in assists with 8 assists this season. So they're getting Noel Acciari at a big season for him too. So I mean, these are the two guys that are really going to push Toronto in the playoffs, and this is what the teams are doing right now. It's like the teams that know they're in the playoffs, they know what to look for. And there's going to be teams in the trade deadline that are going to be on the cusp of the playoffs looking for some guys. And I think that's where we're going to see some kind of rando trades or some random names going by. But to go back to the Toronto Maple Leafs here, I think they pulled something off here that I think come playoff time, I think we're going to be holy shit, this is gonna work fucking really good for them.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, it is all going to come down to goaltending because the defense core isn't as strong as the forward group here.
No.
The one thing about this trade deadline that I'm noticing more than any of the other ones that we've covered in the past, there are clear buyers and clear sellers going into this. And Toronto Maple Leafs, like you said, they're looking at the playoffs. They're clearly buying. Mm-hmm. The St. Louis Blues, clearly selling. They're bringing in 3 picks and a couple prospects, lower end players, while also eating salary. The same thing with Minnesota Wild, eating salary, 4th round pick. So you can tell who's kind of like ready to like sell and buy. I'm sorry, not sell. Buy in big on making a deep playoff run because Toronto needs a cup this year. Yeah. Some of these teams that are making these trades, they have no option but to get it done this year. Mm-hmm. Boston is another team that has a big splash coming. We're going to get to that, but they are also a team that has to buy in this year because of how uncertain the future looks there.
Right, exactly.
The interesting part to me is the Toronto Maple Leafs might look good for the next 2-3 years after this. But man, without all those picks, like that's gonna stack up quick. You know, you're gonna mortgage the future so you can try and get a cup this year in a way.
Yep. It is weird to see the Blues in this kind of situation. So they're 6th right now in the Central Division, which is low for them, especially. So definitely a team that's trying to figure shit out. But you were just talking about this last week or the week before, where just like everything is so tight. With like certain divisions, Central too, as well. So the Blues have 56 points. Right above them is the Predators with 62. So like it's still kind of tight there, but to be 6th in the Central is still like a kind of slap in the face for the St. Louis Blues organization coming from like a 2019 Stanley Cup run.
I think that this looks close, but they are out. They are done for.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to catch the Predators to even sniff a wild card spot, and they're not even getting in. The Flames are taking that spot over the Predators right now. I just think that we're going to get into the St. Louis Blues pretty deep later on, but after seeing, Panarin over to the Rangers, Tarasenko not happy there, O'Reilly's now gone, like they are clearly all set on this season and ready to move on to next year.
Yeah, yep. This is a throwaway season almost, pretty much. Maybe take what you have and kind of figure shit out. Like bring up some guys from like the AHL and see what they could do. Type of
you're
season.
Really forcing guys like Kyrou and Robert Thomas to take over the reins of O'Reilly and Panarin and be the face for their team. You know what I mean?
Yep. And who were we just talking about for the St. Louis Blues? Is that Colton Parayko that we're talking about?
David Perron too is gone
too. Yep. Just guys that are gonna have to show.
I keep saying Panarin. That is not who I was talking about. My bad. That is so dead wrong. I don't even know who I was going for, but a lot of big names out of there. Pietrangelo is one of them. A lot of P's too. Perron, Pietrangelo. So I'm getting them crossed up with Panarin.
No worries. But
I just tripped coming out of the over the bench, face plant to get a line change on the ice. That's what that was.
But this will be good for the organization just to begin with, because they're not a shit team. They're just in the middle, kind of like still a lower middle, I should say, of the league. And again, going back to what I was saying about the St. Louis Blues, and they're bringing up players from the AHL and giving players that don't normally have a lot of ice time, give them like the ice time they, just to figure out what they need. It could help their stats. It could make them look better throughout the rest of the season. And guess what? Now you have a nice little trade pawn in like the off season, and maybe they start figuring shit out from there. So I don't know. We'll see. I think we might be seeing some St. Louis Blues stuff maybe by the deadline.
I just don't know how much more they're going to do now that they've done this big deal and getting in on this and getting all these picks in. I think at this point they need to figure out who's staying, who's going, and settle in.
That's it. Yep. Exactly.
Buckle in for the rest of the season and just prep for next year.
Mm-hmm. Sorry. I was just thinking too, as I was watching that St. Louis Blues game last night, and I was watching Binnington, because you were talking about him, and you're like, dude, Binnington's playing on his fucking head right now, and they're getting he was getting slaughtered, like his 40 shots on goal.
Yeah, we have that at the end of the episode too, if you want to hold it.
Yeah, okay, hold it. I was just gonna say, it was just I was looking at Binnington, I was like, oh, this is interesting, but I haven't seen any. I could wait, but I haven't seen any like nonsense from him in a
It's
while.
been like 2 weeks. We just covered nonsense from him like 2 weeks ago. He was trying to fight someone.
2 weeks is a long time for him.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's move on. We'll get to him later on.
Couple small trades here. The Ottawa Senators have traded forward Tyler Mott to the New York Rangers in exchange for forward Julien Gauthier and a conditional 7th-round pick in 2023. A little more depth for the Rangers, also looking to make a push here.
I don't know about this. So conditional 7th-round pick. That's a lengthy pick. It's a pick in general, but a 7th-round pick.
I think it's enough to, get them to bite on a prospect in order to get a guy that's already proven himself a little bit in Tyler Mott. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely a bottom 6 guy, but for them to, take a prospect in for a guy that's getting active play time as a bottom 6, you're gonna have to chuck something else in there. So conditional 7th makes a little bit of sense.
I wonder if that's moving cap space too. Now I'm thinking about it, because isn't Tyler Mott like a big name for him as well? Or no, he's UFA at the end of the season, so that's weird. So yeah, he was hitting 1.3 mil AAV. Interesting, but oh wow. So I guess they're gonna move. I guess there might have been. I guess they're gonna move from him anyway. I guess at this point, and just like, hey, if we can get something from him now instead of moving away as a UFA.
Yep. But, or like having the option to re-sign him too.
Right. Interesting. So, yeah, I mean, good move by the Senators. I guess in that case, Senators are looking good though this season, like on their way up, just like the Buffalo Sabres. No, Buffalo Sabres maybe looking a little. No, I would say that. I would say Buffalo Sabres and Ottawa Senators look similar.
Yeah,
so?
I mean they're within 6 points of each other in the standings, but yeah. I think Buffalo is a year or two ahead of where the Senators are right now. Is what I'll say.
It's good. Good call. Want me to move on to? Oh no, you want to do your Vegas Golden Knights?
Sure, yeah, if you'd like me to. The Vegas Golden Knights have traded a 5th-round pick in 2023 and defenseman Shea Weber's contract to the Arizona Coyotes in exchange for defenseman Dyson Mayo.
Dyson Mayo is a solid fucking player. I really like this trade. Shea Weber's contract was interesting. I feel like this contract always been bounced. I feel like we just talked. I wouldn't say just, but I feel like we've talked about Shea Weber's contract being bounced around.
Yeah, it went from Montreal down to Vegas, and now it's going from Vegas over to Arizona. It was just a long, high-term contract, so that's why people are kind of hiding money in the books a little bit and doing each other favors in order to trade up and get some things done.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, interesting move here with the Vegas Golden Knights and Arizona Coyotes. So good move for Arizona. Arizona needs the guys. They're one of the worst teams in the league. So I don't know. This is just a nice trade for the Arizona Coyotes.
Good for the future.
I always thought about this, like you're coming from like the team like the Vegas Golden Knights, right? You're just like, wow, we're doing really fucking well. Mentally, you're just like, oh man, we can make playoffs, we can do all this. And then around trade deadline time, here comes like management, like, hey, can we have you in your office for a second? And like, yeah, sure. Like,
well, it's the other way around though. The Knights are getting Dyson Mayo in. So Dyson Mayo's getting out of there, and the Yotes are getting a pick and a contract.
Oh, I read that wrong.
Yeah. I wrote it backwards almost. You know what I mean? Sometimes I read acquired, sometimes traded.
Oh, gotcha.
Because I feel like if I wrote like the Golden Knights have acquired Dyson Mayo or the Coyote, you know what I mean? Like you got to word it proper.
You got to word it
because
right,
otherwise, if I was like the Coyotes have acquired a 5th-round pick and a dead contract, you know.
But I guess yeah. So. All right, let's move on here to the Chicago Blackhawks. They have acquired defenseman Nikita Zaitsev, a 2nd-round pick in the 2023 and 4th-round pick in the 2026 from the Ottawa Senators in exchange for future considerations. That big word we might be hearing a lot.
That's wild. That's a lot to pick up for future considerations.
That future considerations better be doing something, buddy. But I don't know. This is good for the Ottawa Senators, I guess. Again, might be moving cap space, might be moving something, but it is weird to hear yet again the Ottawa Senators kind of moving from another player.
Damn, he's got a $4.5 mil cap hit, so that's exactly what that is.
Yeah.
7 years he signed with the Toronto Maple Leafs back in 2017, so that's I think it's only another year of that, but that's a lot of cap space to move on from.
Yep.
So maybe that's the big deal with moving on from him, you know?
Because did they not sign Brady Tkachuk to like a big one?
Yeah, Tkachuk got his money because he's the captain of the team, and you know, good presence for them.
So I think the organization, just in general, especially where they are, they're just like, we need to free up some
money,
cap space and figure shit out.
And they do have a lot of young prospects that are looking really nice there, so they're gonna have to pay those guys soon if they want to keep them around.
Yeah, so good move, good solid move. I like Nikita Zaitsev. I think he's gonna be. I mean, we said that.
I don't like him at 4.5. I like him at maybe 3,
yeah,
2.5.
I'm with you on that. Just as a player, I do like him though. But
he was on the Leafs and got that Leaf money. That's what that was.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I was gonna say. I think he's gonna do well with the Chicago Blackhawks, but we thought the same thing about Seth Jones. That whole fucking.
He totally should have though. I think that's different. It's so tough to see that one.
Yeah, that hurts looking back.
I mean, and the worst part of that one is like they looked at him to be the next. God, who was that defenseman that won all the cups with them? You always fucking.
Oh, Brent Seabrook?
Yeah, Seabrook.
Yep.
He was supposed to be the next guy there and run it. Duncan Keith, was he a big defenseman for them too?
Duncan
Was he a
Keith
forward?
Was good.
I forget. But yeah, Seth Jones was supposed to come in and, help speed up the rebuild process and bridge the gap of dynasty to, a team in the NHL. So
right.
It just never really worked out, which is nuts.
It hurts. Like, do you know how much they signed? It wasn't like 8 years or some shit.
Yeah, he got a big one. He got about the same as the Zach Werenski deal because they were both big names on the market around the same time. So
yeah, Duncan Keith is a defenseman.
Yeah.
Right. Oh man.
Yeah, it was Keith and Seabrook. I think were the top pair when they were winning. The Blackhawks also acquired defenseman Drew Hunter from the Anaheim Ducks in exchange for forward Josiah Slavin, who I know nothing about either of these guys. So let's call it a 1-for-1 prospect trade there.
Yep.
And let's move on to the big one, too, for the Boston Bruins. They acquired
big news this week.
defenseman Dmitry Orlov and forward Garnet Hathaway from the Washington Capitals, as well as the rights to forward Andrei Svetlakov, who's like a 16-year-old in Russia, I think. They got those rights from the Minnesota Wild in exchange for Craig Smith, a first-round pick in 23, a fifth in 2023, a third in 24, and a second in 2025.
Nice.
So another three-way trade to break down here. The Wild received the fifth-round pick in 23 while also retaining 25% of Orlov's salary. The Capitals received forward Craig Smith and the other 3 picks while retaining 50% of Orlov's salary. And Orlov's cap hit is now $1.275 million for the Bruins.
What a fucking steal.
Yeah, another team that's up against the cap looking to make something happen. And to get 75% of a salary for Toronto and Boston, 75% of a salary coming in to be offloaded to other teams, that's so big when you're up against the cap.
Shit. Yep.
I think this is exactly what they need on the back end.
Oh, yeah.
Garnet Hathaway, yeah, he'll be all right, but definitely a bottom 6 guy.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, this is injury reserve backup, bumping guys down the line,
right?
So that when shit goes south in the playoffs, they can move someone up.
Yeah, Bruins fucking nailed this trade. I was just saying that the Garnet Hathaway, Craig Smith was just a 1-for-1. And me and my coworker, Dave, who is always on my Mic'd Up with Matt episodes, we were talking at work, and we were just saying how the Bruins needed some, big dude for the playoffs. Playoffs is... Regular season's fine. You can get away with it. But when playoff comes around, you need those big fucking tough defenseman guys or just big dudes just in general to get you through, those hard playoff games. And they didn't really have it. Zdeno Chara gone.
Trent Frederick in and out of the lineup a little bit.
I mean, they don't have the big guys. And as soon as I saw the Orlov trade, I was like, there you fucking go. The Bruins just picked up the guy they need for the playoffs. This is
same with Hathaway. He's a pest out there too.
Yeah, true. And this is perfect for the Bruins organization. And I don't know. It really makes you think. It's kind of like a scary thought to think that. I feel like it's easy to say the Bruins are just gonna fucking fly through the season and be really fucking good, and then shit the bed in the first round. But when a trade like this happens, you're just like, fuck, are they just gonna run through the playoffs too? I feel like they might have some issues going through the playoffs, but at the same time, I think they're.
I just feel like certain teams have had their number, eaten their lunch in front of them. It's a matter of getting over those hurdles and making something happen. We couldn't really do anything against the Hurricanes. At one point in time, the Capitals had our fucking number in the playoffs, and now it's really just don't hit any of those. Roadblocks, and you should be okay with the lineup we have. Mm-hmm. Definitely a great move for the Capitals, too. 1-for-1, like you said, Smith for Hathaway. Yeah. And getting 3 picks out of that as well. 50% of the salary is a little tough, but 3 picks, you're looking at the future. But it really tells you how they feel about these standings. They're right outside with 62 points, and they just, in a sense, don't really care. They're going to sell because they know that they need more of a future. You know, they need to bridge that gap as well.
And that's where the picks come in.
Exactly.
And you were just saying that the Bruins kind of don't have a good resume when it comes to like picks. So, like as a Bruins fan, I guess like you see this and you're like, they'll figure shit out.
Yeah, like they don't draft and develop. Also, what's the point of keeping all these picks that we're gonna waste and fucking pick the wrong guys with? You know.
No, and there was something I sent you. Some Bruins fan did like the breakdown of Don Sweeney's like draft.
Yeah,
picks.
his drafting has been terrible, but there was another slide you sent me that was everything that he's traded away and brought in, and he's single-handedly probably saved his own ass by flipping this guy into that guy, and you know the roster's been revitalized. I'd say
it really was just absolutely insane. Like if I could find it as I think it was like
no, I don't think we need to go through it. I think we've covered it before.
Yeah, but that list was just very impressive because again, what Chris said. Like their draft picks, they'll say like who they got, and it'll be like 10 guys are just like, oh, he's okay, and like here's a list of like 7 guys below there. They're just like, holy shit, you got these 7 for like the 10 guys you drafted that were just like okay at best. I'm like, you like fleeced the NHL like these teams to like get these guys.
Yeah, and it's kind of, but like they're not getting fleeced because I think they're getting the right things back in return. But yeah, I don't think you should rattle off that list that you're digging for.
No,
I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. But, yeah, that's it for, unless you want to refresh. We're waiting for something. We're waiting for fucking something. It's going to happen. I don't know, 11:30 at night, think it's going to happen?
Could. These things happen in the middle of the night sometimes.
Yeah, you're right. But that's it for the trade so far. And I think, again, next episode will be the wrap-up. And I think definitely by next week we might have maybe a handful of, like, big ones, but
I think more than a handful.
Yeah, because especially this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, I think are going to be big ones. That's my thought in general. But you ready for some NHL news? Want to get into it? So claims. Speaking about trades and stuff, we got claims here. So the Montreal Canadiens have claimed forward Chris Tierney off of waivers from Florida. He's already had a goal in his first game with the Canadiens this week. Tierney played the majority of the season so far in the AHL with the Charlotte Checkers with 3 goals and 13 assists in 20 games played. I like Chris Tierney. When I think Chris Tierney, I think about the San Jose Sharks because that's where he was drafted. He had a solid season back in the day. It was, I can't remember, it was like 18 goals, 20 assists. Like he was just a big name. It kind of just like got traded around a bit, kind of fell apart, and I think he might be still that player that can figure shit out. So I guess Montreal Canadiens would be a good landing spot for him to get that ice time and maybe figure stuff out because they are missing 75% of their roster still. So
yeah, and I think with a lot of the young guys in the lineup too, I think it'll rejuvenate him a little bit. You know, new line mates. You know, a little more creativity than what the Florida Panthers have to offer per se, just because of how young this Canadiens team is. So hopefully he can get in there, slot into the middle 6, and you know, kind of blend in a little bit. We did almost have a goalie fight the other night, though. Did you see that?
Almost.
LA Kings and Anaheim Ducks, a classic rivalry from back in the day. Gibson skated out to center ice and was waiting for Phoenix Copley while he was getting in the mix with the Ducks players. And the refs just did not let Copley get over to him and guided him off the ice. Like, I don't understand. Like, fighting's a thing in the NHL, right? And when do you ever see the refs get in between two players and prevent them as actively as they do with the goalies? And as much as a goalie fight's kind of like a fucking pillow fight at the end of the day, it still clicks views, and I think the average everyday fan and people that aren't even fans of the NHL would watch that and see what happens.
Shit. I don't know how you say about pillow fight because Phoenix, the people who were recording the game had an awesome view of Gibson just at center ice, and you could see Phoenix Copley come out from the fucking 6-guy pile up and just beam it right at Gibson. And I'm like, oh man, if they're just able to fight, it'd be Phoenix Copley right away just throwing fucking haymakers.
Yeah, but it ends up being a pillow fight because they're basically wearing fucking sumo suits out there trying to punch each other. And once one guy loses a foot, the whole thing turns into a big mess. It's just done.
It's like the Carey Price and Tim Thomas.
Yeah, it wasn't even a fight, and it was so. That was such a big video at the time because there hadn't been one in so long, and it's a massive rivalry game.
Yeah.
And it was a shitty fight, but it got a lot of clicks and views and all this stuff. It's good for the league. So why is the league telling the refs to completely shut that down? You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. Just kind of weird.
It was interesting to see how lit up John Gibson was, though, because all of a sudden, like they see him just like slamming his stick at like the center ice. It's like, wow, I don't think I've ever seen John Gibson like pissed off like that.
Yeah,
And,
so this is a very bad season for the Ducks.
Yeah.
They are last in the league for goal differential at -99. But on the bright side, Gibson has faced so many shots in this poor season for the team. He has officially made the most saves in a goalie's first 40 games of a season, or since the record had been set, at 1,323. Jacques Plante does still hold it at 1,396 in the 1963-64 season.
Wow.
So he's behind him by like 60 saves, 70 saves. So
Dude,
crazy.
I still pump John Gibson's tires. I still think if you put him on a better team other than the Anaheim Ducks, I think you really see.
I tell you what, dude, there's going to be some teams looking for goaltending. Like I don't think it'll happen, right?
No.
Because of what we just saw,
Yeah.
but for him to go over to LA, like that could be the guy that puts them over the hump, don't you think? Like I think LA just needs solid goaltending. That's been their issue all season long, up and down with Copley, in and out with Quick. Like you bring Gibson over there, like I don't think that trade is going to happen, but a guy like a John Gibson that's like overperforming on a very bad team, sell high on him to a team that needs a goalie in the playoffs.
I'm telling you, I was watching John Gibson play, and I first thing I thought about how we're just talking about how goalies are just like they're not like a home goalie anymore. Like they're just like, you've been here for 10 years, I'm gonna fucking ship you somewhere else. And here we go. So yeah, he's been with the Anaheim Ducks since 2013. I've just been with the organization since. So I don't know, man. Who do they have? Like,
do you think he wants to be there, though, is the thing, too? Like, he probably doesn't give a fuck. Get me out of here, dude. This team sucks.
And if the Anaheim Ducks are definitely want to rebuild, and you have a guy like John Gibson that can get you a fuck ton of something.
Yep. A depreciating asset in a way, too, but still overperforming.
I mean,
even Philly with, like, Carter Hart, like, I don't think they're going to move on from him.
No.
But because he's, like, a building block for their rebuild. He's still young. But, like, he's a good guy to sell off to another team.
Though.
You know? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. Gibson, I still think Gibson on a better team. You really see, like, you really see him in the spotlight, but I'll always put myself. I want a Gibson jersey. So sick. That's my guy.
Too bad that fucking Web D is, like, the shittiest logo in the league.
God. Give me, like, the old, like, Mighty Ducks jersey. I'll fucking rock that. Those are sick. Not the one. What was the one that last year we were talking about? They had
reverse retro.
Oh, with the flying duck with like the blue and shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, disgusting. Not a fan of that at all. I don't know. Moving on. Let's move on from Gibby here. So I wrote this down, and Penguins fans, if you're on my Instagram at all, we've been doing the 20 push-up challenge.
Pittsburgh's been letting you down hard, buddy.
And the Pens.
So hard. I've been riding the Islanders lately, dude, and I was surprised. I picked the Islanders game, like, not 3 games in a row, but 3 out of 4, and each time you faded them and picked the other team, and they just kept fucking knocking your teeth in.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, you're right. I kept saying, like, the other team, and I was just like, the fuck? What was the Wednesday? Who were the Islanders playing?
I forget what that one was.
Who they were playing.
Winnipeg. And that was like the third one where, like, if I pick this, I think he's going to take the Islanders because they've beaten him twice in the past 3 days, you know?
Like, no, the Jets
and you were like,
have
I'll
this.
take the Jets.
Jets
like,
have
yes, dude. I was like, yes.
Jets have this in the fucking bag. Why would they lose?
And that was before a little injury update we're going to get to later on, too.
Yeah. But anyway, so February 23rd here, the Edmonton Oilers versus Pittsburgh Penguins. That was the team we put up, right?
Yeah, I think we picked that one. Yep.
Yep.
You picked the Penguins. That's where they let you down.
Yeah, and I picked the Penguins, and I realized because when I put up everyone can vote on my Instagram, and 100% of everyone who voted picked the fucking Edmonton Oilers, and it was just my dumb ass to pick the Pittsburgh Penguins, and for a good reason, because they got fucking smoked 7-2 by the Oilers. And then, like, toward the end of the game, you can hear the Penguins fans chanting "Fire Hextall," and I kind of want to look at that game for a little bit. So Jari just came back from being on IR with an upper body injury. It wasn't pulled until 6 goals allowed in after the second period, which I was just not a fan of. You always just come back from it, just like as a coach, Your goalie's just coming back yet again from an upper body injury. It's his first game back. You're gonna wait for 6 fucking goals,
dude. The other side of that is you've been out for how long on an injury, and you've been putting this guy through the ringer. He's had to step up and play X amount of games more because you're out. So I need you to stay in tonight and give this guy a night off.
Yeah, I mean, he was just like day to day, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
But like, it still wasn't like 100%.
Yeah.
But like the goals he was letting in, like after like the third one, I was like, man, this guy's just having a bad night. You need to fucking pull him while you have the chance and put like Casey DeSmith.
3 goals you'd pull him?
I like 4 goals maybe.
Four goals is when I start to think about it. 5 goals is probably the go.
Yeah. But just the Penguins just in general, like Jarry had a rough night, but the Penguins just in general look so fucking bad. Like it was like holy shit. Anyway, the Penguins would have 2 goals. That would be called back, but it really just wouldn't matter at all. So the Penguins for the month of February has 3 wins and 6 losses. They're currently 5th in the Metro and 20th in the league. Do they need to fire Ron Hextall? I don't think so. Do they need to start making moves by the trade deadline and after this season? Yeah, 100%. I think this team is, if they don't do something, they're going to fucking fall. And it's going to be like a swan dive fall down like the NHL unless like they stop the hurt right now, stop the bleeding, and like try to figure shit out. Thinking about it now, Teddy Bluger, Danton Heinen, Josh Archibald, and Tristan Jarry will be UFAs at the end of the season, and Ryan Poling will be RFA.
You think that's good or bad?
UFAs? I don't know. Like, what would they do? Like, here's my thought for the trade deadline, too.
Yeah, I want to hear. Yeah.
Okay. The UFAs at the end of the season, and depending on cap space and what they want to do, maybe by trade deadline, just like how the Ottawa Senators were doing shit, try to send them out before the UFA so they can put something up.
Okay, yep, I agree. So now what are you putting together, and what are you getting in for it?
That's a good question because I have something else for that.
Yep, keep going.
So both Jarry and DeSmith are not statistically doing well this season, and my thought, Rickard Rakell and Jason Zucker are solid trade bait for the Penguins that could get them some draft picks and some players that the team could benefit from. But the real question is, will the Penguins do it? And I fucking hope so because holy shit. You
know what this league needed before this season even started? It needed the Bruins in the playoffs. It needed Pittsburgh in the playoffs, and it needed Washington in the playoffs because all 3 of those teams have a guy that's aging, fading out in Bergeron, Crosby, and Ovi. Mm-hmm. Not fading out in a way, but, one last kick at the can with the team that they have and the guys that are, not so great around them anymore. That is all the NHL needed this season, and it just isn't going to happen, I don't think. Yeah. I could see both of those teams, Pittsburgh and Washington, being out.
Mm. Know what I was looking at, too? I was looking at Crosby's stats. He's got 25 goals this season. I'm like, why does that feel so low? And then you look at, like, his past, 5 seasons,
it's become the assist machine.
And it's become the assist machine, and it's, the 25, it's like the 30-goal mark plus just a little bit more has been, his average, throughout. So he's not, again, I feel like I talked about this episodes ago where I realized Sidney Crosby's just become, this playmaker type of guy. But you can't with a team like this. You got to go back to the old Crosby, scoring and shit. Malkin's kind of on the same fucking wagon with Sidney Crosby, but obviously Sidney Crosby and Gino are going to be your top tier guys. So I don't think they're going to move from him at all. But
so what are you putting together? I do like your point on Rakell. I do like your point on Rakell more than I like the point on Zucker, but I don't follow the team as closely.
Yeah.
What are you putting together?
So I would have loved to see a Rickard Rakell, because I thought about this throughout the week, and I would have loved to see because the Patrick Kane situation still hasn't happened. And
that's
I'm
juicy.
Patrick Kane, you can easily ship Rakell and or Zucker or some draft picks, and I guarantee fucking to you Chicago would bite the hell on that. And
yeah, dude, if you could get Rakell, Jarry, and a couple picks, or Rakell pick one of those 4 guys and a couple picks,
oh yeah,
that'd be nice. Imagine Malkin, Crosby.
Unreal. And Kane's really trying to prove. Kane's at the point now in his career where he's trying to prove himself. I think the fact that he keeps getting pushed down, he hasn't been traded yet, I think has been a hurt.
He has a fire in his ass. He had 7 goals in the past 5 games or something like that. Just started lighting it up.
And now add that fire under Patrick Kane's ass and throwing on a Penguins team that needs that scoring, and holy shit.
I just think that he's not looking at them as a team that
No.
Can make a run and get something done.
He's not. But the Penguins need to do something.
Yeah, I do like
Because I'm sick of doing 20 fucking push-ups.
I do like the options here. Yeah, just stop fucking picking them. That's all it takes. Pick against them.
You're the guy that keeps picking the teams. I feel like you.
No,
look,
I picked the game. You picked the team.
I definitely feel like you look like who the Penguins playing this tonight, and I'm like, because I know that dumbass is gonna fucking pick the Penguins.
I'm telling you, I was so nervous in the Winnipeg Islanders game that you were gonna take the Islanders.
Really?
I was like, he's gonna catch on. He's gonna catch on here.
And then I saw Jets. I'm like, there's no fucking way. And the Jets played terrific.
They were
that
all
game.
over him. Yeah,
They were all over.
The Islanders were up and down, and the Jets were just setting up in their zone.
And then who's that new guy? That new guy from I forgot his name. It's a rookie for the Islanders. Fucking ripped it top cheese on right in there. It was a third period. He did it picked it block aside top shelf on Connor Hellebuck there. I'm like, shit. And that was after the Jets literally holding the offensive zone, just like the Islanders couldn't get it out to save their life. Sorokin was standing on his goddamn head. The defense was shot blocking. I'm like, dude, it's coming. And then all of a sudden they go up by one. I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Wasn't happy about that.
It's more fun to watch them in person too when you have the bet going.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It gets more amped up.
Yeah.
Just because
we give a fuck about a regular season game for two teams we don't even care about in a way.
I'm talking shit to you. You're talking shit to me. I'm just it's good old fun. But want to move on here too?
Let's do it.
Actually, this is mine as well. So Edmonton Oilers. Speaking about the Edmonton Oilers, McDavid, big guy, local guy, 100 points in 56 games and made history this week as he becomes the fifth fastest player in NHL history to hit 800 career points with just 545 games. Comparing him to his 2015 NHL draft class, he currently has 802 points, and the second highest is Mitch Marner with 526 points. That gap is nuts. So fourth is Peter Stastny with 531. Third, Mike Bossy with 525. Second, Mario Lemieux with 410. And first is our boy Wayne Gretzky that did it in 352 games. So this week you sent me over the thing, or I sent you over the stats for this. And I was staring at Wayne Gretzky. I'm like, how the fuck? So we kind of did a quick breakdown on Gretzky here. So we're going to go straight from McDavid to Gretzky here. So 800 points in 352 games for Wayne Gretzky. We did the breakdown on that. And it breaks down like this. In 1,487 career games played, only 266 of those games he did not record a single point. In the other 1,221 games, he recorded 2+ points per game.
On average.
Yeah. Which is just insane to think about. I'm like, Jesus. I don't know. I feel like this is one of those where just I feel like if we went down the rabbit hole of all the other stuff all the other records he broke, I think we'd be even more impressed. But I'm like, God damn, dude, this is just, he's just on another level. And we're just talking about who's the two players that scored? Oh man, I'm gonna butcher this shit. We were just talking about someone last week or whatever that just they scored 2 hat-tricks in one night or something like that, and we're both like, how the hell does that not happen with Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky in the same area?
I'm gonna murder you for that one.
Why?
I butchered that? Yeah, kind of. I can't just fucking name 2 guys from one thing we touched on for 10 seconds last week.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I know we talked about it, but yeah, man. Connor McDavid fucking looking unbelievable, and I know I just said about Wayne Gretzky, but Connor McDavid just in general, he had a goal last night on Tristan Jarry. Was that Tristan Jarry? Yeah, no.
One of them in the net. Yeah, off the back of the head.
It was oh man, it was below the it was literally below the goal line. And he somehow got it. Yeah, would you say off the mask or something like that into the net? And you're like, damn, this dude. Anywhere on the ice, this dude could fucking pick it. He's like a I don't know, man. He's unbelievable. I can't wait to see him years from now. He's gonna be this generation's Ovi. Would you say that?
Yeah, this generation's fucking Gretzky, dude.
Gretzky, yeah.
So I want to touch back on it too. A couple episodes ago, I said I don't think that McDavid should get the MVP just because he's, putting the puck in the back of the net the most. I think the MVP needs to go to the guy that does the most for his team single-handedly.
Yeah.
And what else is there to do except put points up? This guy has 100 points in 56 games. He has 45 goals, and we're not even close to the end of the season.
Yep.
He's going to hit 60 goals this season, barring injury, I think.
Yep.
He's probably going to win the Rocket Richard.
Easily.
I think this is the year that he racks up trophies in a way.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
But I really just hope that they qualify and make the playoffs, because the playoffs are better with him in it, and it's a better storyline too.
Oh, yeah.
The other one I wanted to touch on was the 2015 draft class comparison. He has 802 points, and he's second highest behind him is Mitch Marner with 526. Mm-hmm. I'm totally wrong on this, but it's either without his goals or without his assists, one or the other. He's still fourth on this list with like two guys in front of him with like 515 or something like that.
Really?
Yeah. It's nuts. So he's just that good.
Jesus. Wow. Holy God. Dude, it's really just like different hockey with this dude. It just really is. Makes me been wanting to watch more Oilers games. When I do, if I watch games a lot, especially if I see the Oilers, I will watch them. But if I'm not around to watch it, or I see the highlights, a lot of times it doesn't matter. Like, it'll be like the Oilers versus the Ducks. I'm like, let's see what Connor McDavid's doing. And he's doing something. It's either like he's got a crazy ass assist, crazy ass play.
Oh, how about the spin move on the blue line against the Flyers the other night to bust in?
Oh,
against
God.
the two defensemen up top.
Two
defensemen
nuts. Can't stop this dude.
Yeah.
That's how good he is.
And that was just to like set up. They were already in the zone and everything. It wasn't like he was breaking in with speed, He almost started that position from like a standstill. Mm-hmm. Anyways, we got some Toronto news for you guys too, staying north of the border, Matt, if you want to cover these.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, so this is more funny news, I guess. So Ilya Samsonov, the goalie for the Toronto Maple Leafs, in a post-game interview, after losing to the Blackhawks 5-3, ironically, came out and said he was battling a stomach illness and said, in quote, "It was a hard day on the shitter," which is just, I thought it was fucking hilarious. You sent that to me, and I thought it was like one of those AI things.
Oh,
Someone
yeah.
just like faked it. And then we found out it was real. It was like, I don't know, man.
Got to come up with something when you lose to one of the worst teams in the league, I guess, right? Fucking liar.
He was feeling fine the entire game, but I think it was just funny that he was just like, dude, I don't know, man. Like, I was fucking on the John all day, just trying to.
Goalies get so open about that too. Like when Tuukka Rask was having his issues getting off the ice and stuff, like mid-game. When he got the runs, remember that?
Oh,
he was
yeah,
having
that's
stomach
right.
problems. I feel like they're like the only. I guess it makes sense because they're on an island. They're the only one out there. So like if they get off the ice, you realize. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like a player, like he just dipped down the tunnel and no one realizes. You know what I mean?
You know who did it too was Roberto Luongo, and it was like, I think it was the 2011. It wasn't the finals. It was like
in the playoffs.
It was in
yeah.
the playoffs though, and he left like right in the middle. Like they blew the whistle, and he just fucking
TV timeout. See you later.
Shot off the ice.
I got a minute 30. I'll be back.
Yeah, and so I remember watching the game, and like for some reason they dropped the puck. Corey Schneider's in that. I'm like, what the fuck happened? And then you find out like after the game, post game, like, where'd you go? He goes, I had a shit. Like he literally just literally in the interview, he goes, I had to go so bad, and he goes, I came out. He goes, I don't even know if I wiped. I'm like, dude,
Oh, that's fucking foul, dude. That's too much.
goalie problems.
I wish you
right?
never said that.
Imagine though, like back in the day.
Go ahead. Next topic. Done.
How do you go with all like that gear on? By the way,
Pull it down. You untie
you
it.
must be sweating like crazy trying to like get those suspenders off, and it's not like hockey players where just like you just dropped like the hockey pants. Like you gotta take off your pads. You gotta like.
No, I think they could get it done with the pads on.
You think so?
Yeah, I could take a piss with the pads on.
Oh yeah, true.
I mean, it's just top half. See you later.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe. I don't know. We should move on from this stuff.
Enough poop talk. All right, so moving on to actually more Toronto news here. The Toronto Maple Leafs' Mark Giordano has tied Chris Russell for the most blocked shots in NHL history at 2,044, and that hurts the fucking hair.
I feel like we were just talking about a player that got like silver shin pads too. Remember that?
Yeah.
Was it 1,000 block shots for his team? Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe that's what it was.
That's funny.
Now I want to look that up. But yeah, holy shit, dude. 2,044 NHL shots, not like normal beer league shots.
And
like,
that's just games too. Think about all the pucks he blocks in practice and fucking warm-ups by accident.
like this dude is just like bruised up, broken, everything. This guy's just reminds me of like Terry Sawchuk. Terry Sawchuk like barely wore anything. Like
Yeah.
he was like very very well known of like guys, reporters going into the locker room to interview Terry Sawchuk, and he would just like take his shirt off, and like his skin, like chest, would be like yellow, like so bruised, like it'd be just like yellow.
It's a combination of that and jaundice from just getting shit faced before the game, so he doesn't feel anything. She's got fucking scurvy, dude. Just spreading false rumors about Terry Sawchuk.
Goalies were different back in the day. Like, they're all smoking. I actually, did we talk about this last week? Remember, essentially the post where just like, I guess it is still kind of common for players to like smoke. Like,
I don't think it was common, but I think like some players do it.
Some players still smoke and like in the meet. That's fucking crazy.
It is kind of nuts. You'd think that they would be like, dude, don't do that in here. You know what I mean?
Right. I played.
Does kind of take the edge off though. I guess I don't smoke, but that's like a good way to fucking calm down.
Right. Well. Cigarettes or weed?
Cigarettes.
Okay. I was thinking. Anyway, years ago I played.
I don't think they can do any cannabis. I think it's a banned substance. Like they would have to get piss tested.
Oh, just in
I
general?
think, yeah.
There used to be a guy I used to play with, and dude, you used to smell him just like
cigarettes or weed.
Weed.
Ugh.
And like he would like both actually. Now I'm thinking about it, because he would smoke on the bench or like smoke weed on the bench. And I just remember like every game he would chug like he'd have a chocolate milk with him too. One of the best dudes on the fucking ice. One of the best dudes on the ice, by the way.
He would drink a chocolate milk before the game?
No, like he would have the Nesquik and just put it on the bench.
Oh, dude.
Vile.
Dude, that is like but after a Corona Premier, after a game, hydrate, stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated.
A chocolate Nesquik is like the next best thing. I fucking love chocolate Nesquik after a game. Well, you can't have chocolate, but yeah, wicked good. Strawberry Quick, dude. Mix one of those in.
It's up there.
Yeah, right? Have one of those after hockey one week. Like, stop in the convenience store and get one. Anyways, back to my original point. I don't understand how guys that smoke weed, like, before the games play, because, I mean, it kind of makes sense because it slows the game down for you, but, like, doesn't it also slow you down? Like, I feel like...
That's what I thought.
I would feel like maybe cocaine would be better to do before the game because you're really, like, jumping, like, smelling salts. Like, weed, I would be like, I want to melt into the bench or, like, my couch, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not weed, but, like, at the same pace, I did a mic'd up episode where I was, like, I was feeling it. Like, I was drinking before, like, went to Tommy's and just, like, had a few, and I had a little too much, went to the game, and it was, like, one of the best times I've played.
You do get loose and, like, more courage in a way, like liquid courage, but, like, your reaction time definitely is down. You know what I mean?
It's fucking, yeah.
So, like, that's definitely no good.
No.
Can't be doing that.
I feel like it'd be even more down with weed, though.
I don't know. I mean, some people just, if he smells like that all the time, he probably lives like that.
Yeah, true. Good point. But he's also a player, like, not a goalie. So now we have to figure out, like, if there's any goalies out there that just, like, smoke weed and just, like, get in the net. We have seen videos of goalies shit-facing that. Didn't I send you the one where just, like, dude, you can't even stand?
Yeah, it's fucked up. When people are, like, taking shots, I don't like that's kind of fucked up.
But I honestly just don't understand, like, guys that do that. And again, I shit you not, one of the better players on the ice. Like, you could just smell him, like, hauling ass, like, around you. I'm like, this guy's another breed.
All right, let's move it along here.
Mm-hmm.
Boston Bruins, Brad Marchand, up to no good again on social media here. Puck Empire posted this week that Seattle, Edmonton, and Detroit seem to be the frontrunners to host the 2025 NHL All-Star Game. Marchand made sure to take the time to comment, LOL, can't wait to see how many guys boycott that game. A fan decided to screenshot this and tweet it out, saying he was back at it, to which he replied, I mean, it's true. And then shortly after, I feel like once the social media stuff starts, he gets into it on the ice. So this is Boston at Seattle the other day. Marchand made sure to follow up with some on-ice misbehavior this week. Bruins faced off against the Kraken. Marchand decided to get into it with Bjorkstrand. And while they were, like, jawing at each other a little bit, Marchand took the time to get his right leg behind the guy and slew foot him, send him to the ice, and the league made sure to fine him the maximum $5,000 allowed by the CBA.
I feel like it's so funny, the fact that Marchand is just kind of able to do what he does on social media. I
feel like they would have like Biz Nasty got shut down back in the day, so like they're gonna say something.
I thought NHL teams like really kind of like watch what you put up. Like,
I think it's like gotten progressively like, okay, if I can say this, then let me bring the line up again. You know what I mean? Like, when are they gonna tell me to stop?
And Marchand just doesn't give a shit at all. He goes. He's just going to hit a point where it's like the organization is going to be like, yeah, you can't do that.
Well, I mean, like, Robin Leonard went on his tear, too, and the league didn't really step in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
right? Like he threatened to like fucking do all that shit, you know?
Damn, I forgot about that.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I guess freedom of speech, but you're also a representative of the league, so there is a certain line that you probably can't cross, but I don't know where it stands now at this point.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's solid content. I think that's
It's fucking hilarious. It's Marshawn 101.
I think that's what might be the NHL and maybe the Boston Bruins organization just thinks in general with the Marchand, because man, I think he's getting clicks left and right when you just talk shit to like fans just in general. So.
It's almost like the I think it was the PIP program with the PGA. Mm-hmm. Whoever gets the most like followers, interaction, shit like that, gets like a huge bonus. And I mean, the NHL isn't doing that, but it's similar, you know.
I think he's just a great guy off the ice too.
Yeah.
There was a video last year of I think they were just coming off of warm-ups, and he's going down the hallway and just grabs some fan's phone.
Yeah,
just, like records
selfie,
himself and like have fun at the game and just like runs it back. I'm like, just that type of guy, you know.
We did have another player this week too catch a fine. Detroit versus Washington. Dylan Larkin caught a 5K fine this week for cross-checking Capitals TJ Oshie in the face. Larkin seemed pretty apologetic, as if he didn't mean to catch him up there, and he immediately, like after the penalty occurred, like kind of stopped play to check on him.
Yeah.
But the play kept going, and he obviously got the 5 minutes or whatever. And I don't know, I kind of didn't like him getting whacked, like for the fine.
I don't like it either. Dylan Larkin, just in general, is just like a very classy type of dude.
Clean, you know?
Yeah, clean dude that's been around for a while. The fact that he checked out, like stopped everything and checked on him too, just like that just makes sense.
That's what I think too.
He fucked up, so he just had a little fuck up here. So I just this fine was just I was just not a fan of.
Yeah, kind of weird.
I'm just hoping the teammates were just like, yeah, we're gonna help you out with this, you know.
Yeah, I mean it's fucking.
It's pocket change.
$1.50 each, you know. I need to take care of that.
I don't even give a shit. That's a steak dinner.
20 is change.
Yeah, how old is he now? Dude, wow.
27?
Yeah, you're around at 26.
26.
Why do I feel like he's so much older than he is?
Really?
He's 26 years old. I in my head, I'm just like 30, 31.
Jesus, dude. He's like fucking one of the young stars in the league.
Yeah, I know. I'm dumb. Sorry. But yeah, I entered with the Detroit Red Wings in 2015.
Same draft class as McDavid. He was in that first round, too.
Yeah, he's looking
He
good.
was on that list with McDavid and the points that you were just talking about.
Yeah, right. 22 goals, 35 assists so far this season. He's looking really well. Yeah, it's just unfortunate for Dylan Larkin.
He's waiting to have his contract signed, too.
Oh, fuck yeah. I just don't understand how there's players that do this shit and have done it a few times and just got a slap on the fucking wrist. And there's guys like Dylan Larkin here who...
Well, it's the max, though. It's 5K, so...
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's max. Like, fuck, man. Just, like, be like, hey, you know, just... Thanks for checking in on him. Is he fine? Yeah, all right. Just
No, that's what I mean. Like, some guys get a slap on the wrist. Like, the most they can do is 5K.
5K, yeah. Yeah. But, I just wasn't a fan. And I don't know what the process is for it. I think that something like that needs to really fucking change, where there is, like, a rule book to this thing, but there's also just, like, a rational thought to it as well. And just, like, watching it, knowing the player, knowing if the player is, like, done it repetitively, this, and then go from there. So, wasn't a fan of this. But, this will be fucking just under the rug type of shit. I'm sure it's already paid for and everything. So, let's move on here to Tampa Bay versus the Anaheim Ducks. The Tampa Bay Lightning were the biggest favorite in NHL history to win a game with negative 620 odds versus the Anaheim Ducks. What was the score, by the way? Was it a fucking blowout?
I don't know if it was a blowout. I got it here for you.
Got it here. Would it be funny if, like, the Anaheim Ducks, like, for some reason, just,
6-1 final.
God damn. Speaking about favorites, I was telling you, I don't know if I said this on air last week. I know I said it last week, but I don't know if I said it on air. But my coworker has been on a tear with betting on NHLs. NHL
Hope
games.
he's not taking your fucking word.
No, he's just been doing it himself, and he bets on shots on goal. Like, for some reason, that's his thing, and he's up $2,000. He told me that tonight. He goes, dude, like, I'm up now. I'm like, you should probably pull out now. Like just fucking grab the money. He goes, nah, I can't. I'm just like, dude, you're gonna lose all that money. He goes, I fucking hit like last. I guess you could do like a last second hit or something like that.
Yeah, you can bet mid-game. You're adding to your parlay, basically, which is
Yeah.
like multiple strings of bets.
And he crushed it. He goes one period. He won like $850. Like,
That's
damn.
sick.
I just gotta get good at that. But I need the money.
It's
to
not
be
worth
good at
it.
that.
It's just you sink yourself into a hole. No one keeps track of how much they're down. They only like celebrate when they're up, and they're not really ever up, you know?
They're just always down.
Yeah, we're not fucking Daniel Negreanu out here.
Danny Negreanu. How much do you think he's lost throughout his entire career?
Not much in the past 8 years. He's only had one losing season for about 1.2 mil, I think.
Yeah. But to get to where he is, I'm sure he's had to lose.
Not more than what he's earned. I'll tell you that, dude. That guy's earned a lot of fucking money at this point.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're going to move on here to actually some cool-ass fucking news. And I don't know, I'm going to bring this up now. I don't know why these organizations don't make these jerseys and put them for sale. Like maybe like the day of, they'll have them like in the team store.
And I think they also, the reason is because they auction them for whatever charity or, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Any kind of, event? I don't know.
Like that.
Whatever the reason for making the jersey is.
Right.
That's terrible that I can't come up with the word. But the money from the auction goes to that is why, you know?
But it would just be this, because this one came out so sick. And the Florida Panthers Black History Month jersey looked incredible. They are inspired by Tupac Shakur's The Rose That Grew from Concrete and designed by artist Kenyani Watkins. And for all of our YouTube watchers, we'll have a photo of it down here. And I think that came out so goddamn smooth.
Yeah, the details are sick. Putting the Black Panther on the logo on the shoulder that they have too. I thought that was awesome. A nice touch.
Yeah, I really like that. It was just one of those jerseys like, oh man, like you gotta like sell it. Like, and if that's your goal is to like game day sell, and that's where it goes to auction off or whatever. Take the proceeds from those jerseys that you buy and do the same thing. Put that money into like that specific thing. Like,
every jersey sold X amount of dollars to it. Yeah,
like I don't get it. Like there's like, I kid you not, there's been so many like awesome like indigenous like Vancouver Canucks jerseys that they've put out within like the past 2 seasons. I'm like, oh my god, I want to own that. I want to own that. Like they're all sick, and I just don't know why they just don't sell them.
Yeah.
But we're gonna stay on the Florida Panthers and for a second here. So Panthers goalie Spencer Knight is actually out indefinitely as he enters the NHL PA Player Assistance Program. And we just wish him the best of luck. Obviously, this is all going to be...
Dude, too fucking young for a guy like that to be entering this. That sucks.
Yeah.
So sad to see.
So hopefully, one, it's great that he entered. It takes you as a person just to put yourself in there. Like, no one's going to come up to you and be like, hey, do you need to do this? No, he knew, whatever is going on, he knew that like he needed help, and the NHLPA there to be like, all right, well, let's figure this out. So, definitely wish the best for Spencer Knight here. He was it this year that he was kind of having like a fallout season?
Yeah, a little up and down to the minors. You know, the team has just been underperforming in front of him as well. So It's been a tough season for him, a tough go, and it seems like he's turned to some other things to cope with it. So hopefully he's doing well and recovers quick and, you know, gets back to being the stud that he should be.
Yeah.
The hard part, too, of this is when you have, you know, a set idea of how good a player is going to be, and, you know, different goals are set for you by people, like higher standards because of how good of a goalie you are, how high of a prospect you are, then you don't meet those expectations, and things like this happen because, you know, you just feel like you're not worth it, which is fucking terrible, you know?
Yeah. And I honestly can't talk for Spencer Knight here. I'm looking at his hockey DB. So he's got 2 years with Boston College here, and after the 2 years, I guess he really took the plunge here. We're like, all right, let's sign with the NHL here. Let's sign with the.
They pulled him up quick, yeah.
Florida Panthers. Like he didn't.
He was a highly touted prospect. He was like the goalie back then.
Yeah, and he was solid yet again here. So the 2020 season when he came up, he played 4 games played and won all 4. Then 2021, 2022, played 32 games in the NHL, where he went 19-9-3. Just again, solid player, but this year just kind of had a little bit of a fallout. But I don't think it's just him. I think it's just the organization, just in general, because they have fucking fallen down in the standings. And regardless of the standings and everything, we do wish the best of luck for Spencer Knight, and hopefully he can figure things out. So
We do have a few more injuries and updates to cover here, too. Chicago Blackhawks forward Jonathan Toews will not be traded at the deadline and is also taking a break from hockey as he's still battling with chronic immune response syndrome from COVID. Sucks to see for him. I feel like he's been in and out of the lineup for the past few seasons, too, with battling some stuff. Moving right along, though, Toronto's defenseman Jake Muzzin is out for the remainder of the season and playoffs due to a cervical spine injury. So that's kind of fucking crazy, kind of scary there. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, I kind of want to just look up chronic immune response syndrome for everyone here that doesn't know. So, yeah, they call it CIRS, and it's a progressive multi-system, multi-symptom illness characterized by exposure to biotoxins. Oh, so it's like an inflammation, and it can be virtually any organ system of the body, and if left untreated, becomes debilitating. So, just a crazy thing to fight through. And didn't he fight through it last year?
Yeah, he had something last year, too. I don't know what it was, though.
So he's still going through it. So best of luck for Jonathan Toews here, too. That's two big guns for the Chicago Blackhawks that they're out.
All four of these teams are missing some big guys. Here's two more for you. The New York Islanders forward Matt Barzal is out for possibly the remainder of the season with a lower body injury, and they're not really giving us a full update on him.
No.
Nashville forward Ryan Johansson is going to miss an estimated 12 weeks following a surgery on his right leg Wednesday afternoon. So another couple big pieces of the puzzle for those teams, you know.
Ryan Johansson, I think 12 weeks. It's going to suck for the Predators, but I think just in general, are they even in the playoff spot?
Probably not. Are technically in right now. Nope, sorry, technically out right now with the 62 points.
Maybe not.
I
was going to say it'd be good to have this now instead of later, but I don't know if they're going to be out. So.
Well, yeah, either way, I mean, you're on the fringe, so it's going to suck regardless. And then we do have some San Jose Sharks news for you guys, too. The Sharks are currently in talks with Patrick Marleau about working for the organization, so that'd be kind of cool. I don't know what kind of role they're looking at for him. I kind of imagine like a scout position to start and work his way up.
Yep. This would be perfect.
Maybe coaching.
Again, one of those veteran guys that's been with an organization forever, just perfect. You know the organization, you know the guys around it, just like a perfect pickup. So maybe we get some news. Maybe we're talking about it next episode and see where he goes. But I feel like no matter where he goes in the organization, I think he'll definitely help out.
Yeah, great hockey mind.
Yep.
I'm just going to touch on Connor Bedard real quick. He's joined an elite group of players, becoming one of only 3 CHL players to record back-to-back 100-point seasons before turning 18. The only other players to ever do this are Jonathan Tavares and Sidney Crosby.
Elite.
Crazy.
I can't wait to see next year. I can't wait. Just where the hell is he?
I can't wait to see who gets the pick. Is really what I want to see.
Yeah,
that's
the big news right now. Yeah. And then after we get the pick, we're like, all right, now we need to see you on the fucking ice. See what's up.
People are just gonna be roster baiting. Like, where's he gonna slot in? He's gonna be playing in my team fucking immediately. We aren't sending him to the minors. No fucking Shane Wright bullshit. Right, dude? That's all it's gonna be about, dude.
There'll be guys giving him shit too. He doesn't deserve to be in like second line. He'll be fourth.
Fucking new NHL. All right, so let's get into the St. Louis Vancouver Canucks game that we were watching the other day. So St. Louis was up 2-1 with short time left in the game. Call it I can't remember, maybe 15 minutes, something like that. Vancouver is all over them. They got like 40 shots on goal. They had 2 goals called back. So it's 2-1, and then Vancouver ties it up, and with 28 seconds left, they tied it up with the empty net.
Yep.
They go to overtime, and they end up winning with 15 seconds left in overtime. So Blues coach Craig Berube had this to say following the loss. Our best players don't play with any passion, no emotion, and no inspiration at all. They don't play inspired hockey. You cannot play in this league without emotion, grit, or being inspired. They're getting paid lots of money, and they're not doing the job. End of story.
So this... I do want to say this, that get paid a lot of money, quote. I feel like that got put way out of context. I think I sent you a post where some guy wrote, and it's like, they're overpaid. I think that's what he wrote down, but it's not what it is. Like, you're an NHL player getting paid a lot of money.
The minimum guy, the low-end guy is getting $750K. That's a lot of fucking money. Doesn't matter what position you are on the ice. Right. You're now making a lot of money.
But you're now making a lot of money. But this goes down to what we talked about last week, too, where remember we were talking about, like, cap space, where you're just like, if a guy is getting, like, what would you say, like 4 mil, 5 mil, something like that, and he just like not performing up to par what he did like the season before, be like, yeah, whatever. But if like someone's sitting there making like 7
9,
or 8
10,
mil,
yep.
then you're just like, that's when you're like,
You get a target on your back.
oh
yeah.
baby, like what the fuck is going on? Why
Yeah.
the fuck you paying you? That's where that $750K.
The reason I didn't like this is what is the benefit that you're going to get out of bringing this to the media's attention? And secondly,
Fuck all.
you're saying our best players don't play with any passion or emotion, whatever. Like, I think the issue is you've, in the past 3 weeks, given away Tarasenko, O'Reilly, beginning of the season, Perron, and the season before that, Pietrangelo. Like, you don't have any best player. It sounds bad to say it like that, but, like, who are you trying to call out here? I understand that you want your young guys to step up in Jordan Kyrou and Robert Thomas. Those are the guys you're going to look at. Jordan Binnington, too, who I think played an amazing game, even though he lost 3-2.
Yep.
I get being upset, but, like, this is something that needs to be handled in the locker room in this situation.
Yeah.
If Tarasenko and O'Reilly are here and you bring in a guy on the trade deadline and then you say something like this, like, that's something that'll light the right fire.
Right.
I think when you have young guys and less of a veteran presence than you had last season, this isn't going to work. This is going to send the ship in the wrong direction.
Oh, yeah.
And I honestly think we could see Craig Berube gone at the end of the season after this.
I mean, we're just talking about coaches like just being able to ship. Like, I think Craig Berube just, like, openly, like, okay with, like, exactly what you just said, like, going to, like, the media and just, like, blurring that out. I think that just said a lot about him as just, like, a coach just in general, where you're just, like...
Sometimes it works, though. Like, there's certain instances where any coach should do that, and, like, it's just wrong time, wrong place, I think, right now.
It really is. Especially, what are they, sixth in the Central, 24th in the league, if I'm not mistaken. I was just looking at it.
It's definitely sixth in the Central.
And 24th in the league. Like, they're just a team that's just, like, not doing well. But, again, just what you said, like, you traded out, like, two of, like, one of your best players on the team. And now, just, like, here's the team that's just, like, now what the fuck do we do? Now we got to figure shit out. Now we got to pick up the pace for what for the players that we just lost, you know. And then here's your coach being like, yeah, we're not doing enough, and we're paying you a lot to do this.
And my thing is, like, his main comments are about emotion, grit, inspiration. I thought Turupchenko, a fourth-line guy, was playing out of his nuts. He played really well. He had a 2-minute-long shift penalty kill. They iced the puck, and he still couldn't get off the ice and finished his shift with, like, 3 block shots, I think.
Yeah.
Braden Shen played a really good game. Buchnevich,
Barbashev,
how the fuck you say it.
Yep.
Sammy Blaze back. I don't know. I think that there's been so much movement in your lineup and your roster in the past 2 weeks that, like, why don't you let them settle in and, like, get it going that way, like, naturally, and let them learn their new lines. You can't just, like, be like, all right, we suck. We've lost 8 of our last 10.
Right.
Like, yeah, guess what? We're all fucking still trying to figure each other out at this point, you know?
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's really just a black mark for him. If I just don't know. Like, what does the organization do? Like, is the front office, like, talking to him, or are they just letting the coach, like, just do?
Hey, coach is going to coach. You know what I mean? Like, they're each going to have their own way to do it, but maybe the GM has a private conversation with them after. I don't know how the team probably feels about it later on, but I have a strong feeling that they're going to start to drown him out a little bit, and you're going to see the St. Louis Blues sink a little bit deeper.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially after the moves they've made. Like, they're not getting any better by getting rid of O'Reilly and Tarasenko.
No, and from one thing that we've learned from teams just in general, it's just like if a team's not doing well at all, they don't look at the players, they look at the head coach.
Yep.
And if the Blues start to, like, sink, exactly what you said, the Blues organization will be like, coach, you're not doing your fucking job. Skedaddle, you know? And here comes another coach that's going to try to figure shit out for them. So
For sure.
Berube might be gone in that situation.
Yeah, I think it's something where he's definitely going to close out the rest of the season, but we'll take a look at it then.
Mm-hmm. I got confused. I'm like, where are you going? The fact that you still were able to talk, I'm like, you know what? That's professional shit right there.
Always.
But, yeah, that's it. That's it for the night, buddy. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Let's do our nip.
Ooh, how was the Cape Cod, by the way?
Oh, it was good. We had a nice time. Went to the beach, went bowling. There was a fire at Cape Cod Mall. We were there. It was sick.
It's fire everywhere nowadays. Fucking.
We were bowling, and then we went over to the arcade, and then the fire alarm started going off in the mall, and I classically had a bar tab open at the bar, so I made sure to close that out before I evacuated the building.
Oh,
Because then I don't have to go back in and wait for everything to get all settled out. Who knows how long that's going to take, so.
Or you just skedaddle and just not pay.
No, they have my card. It's not like.
Oh, yeah, I think
you know,
about
they
that.
keep your card. But yeah, and then, yeah, it was pretty good. I forget what else I was going to say about it, but it was a good time.
Good, man. That was good.
Yeah, cheers, buddy.
Well, cheers. Oh. Beautiful. Beautiful.
I forgot how much I like bowling, though. Like, you should get a boys' night and go bowling one time.
I used to be a fucking god at bowling, by the way.
Big ball or candlepin?
Big ball.
Yeah, you live right down the street from Boston Bowl, so.
Yeah, you know how you can put like the your thumb in like the other hole. So my thing was just like the 2. And do you know how to spin the ball?
Yeah, yeah.
So I used to just like randomly stop practicing that. And I used to strike left and like turkeys.
That's sick, dude. That's sick.
I used to be unreal. I'm like, because again, Boston Bowl. Like I just had nothing else to do and go there.
This place was cool too. At the mall, I think it was called 10 Pin, and it was only big ball. We wanted to do candlepin because we had the kids with us, but they had when you go to the desk and you sign everyone up, they take your names there, and then you can tell them like these 2 players need the bumpers. So instead of having to go over and do whatever the fuck you have to do, when it's their turn, the bumpers automatically come up, and when they're done, they go down.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Wow.
and like you can rearrange the order, but it still keeps them there. And then for Emma, she's so little that there's like this little like almost looks like an old person walker that has like a ramp on it. So like I would put the ball up there, yeah, and she would like push it down there and like just watch it go. But like she saw like the little holes how we were doing it, so she would go up to the ball with her 2 fingers like this and push it, like instead of like putting it up and doing it. And she actually ended up winning. I think she had like a 56. We only did like I think 8 frames or 7 frames, but she ended up winning with like a 56 or 66, something like that.
Aaliyah, when she was little, I used to take her to Boston Bowl. We used to do the small balls as well. And when she was little, she did the ramp thing. But it's just like, it's also kind of a pain in the ass with the ramp thing because the ramp thing, the ball goes down and goes like a mile a minute.
Oh, yeah. But, dude,
like,
think about if they're actually throwing it, though. Like, because she did that a couple times. It's like, it's even slower. I'm like, fuck that, dude.
No.
Ramp, here you go. Have fun. Now you won't break your toe either.
And they can show like the fun stuff, like going like underneath like your leg.
Yeah,
And just like, yeah, having a good time. I feel
Yeah.
like bowling's always like a great time.
Bowling's sick.
Who do you think you are? I am.
Yeah. Legend.
Legend. All right. Well, that's it for this episode. Once again, before we end it, huge thank you to Corona Premier for sponsoring the podcast. Definitely go check them out. Again, I just posted a Mic'd Up with Matt episode talking about it, and these things are just so fucking good. I've been drinking these on the you do too, and really really good stuff.
Crisp, clean, refreshing, baby. Nice and easy drinking.
Oh yeah.
Keep the LBs off for the summer too. These are nice.
Yep. You want to look good? You want to look for the ladies on the beach this summer?
Not me.
Corona
No.
Premier. Not you.
I don't particularly want to do that.
You're gonna get in trouble.
I'm
if you do
just gonna look good for the ladies on the beach, but it's not about that. Anyways,
that natural look.
thanks everyone for listening. If there's anything you want to see us cover next episode, let us know. Our links are in the description, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye, guys.
Peace.